Good afternoon, esteemed traders and investors. Today is Friday, February 6th. I present to your attention another market review for InstaForex. As always, I'm glad to be here with you today. Several of our trading ideas have played out. The euro went down, the yen also, by the way, moved lower, and the Australian dollar trade worked out as well. Today, on Friday, non-farm payrolls and US unemployment data are scheduled, but there are rumors that they might not be released. Let's take a look at what we can trade on the charts. Let's go. So, let's start with gold quotes, which have been declining. And take note of the market today, as prices bounced very impressively from that specific long break zone that I pointed out to you yesterday. The Asian traders got really lucky this time because they were able to buy right from that exact level while we were all fast asleep. We should, of course, acknowledge this perfect timing and perhaps even envy our fellow traders across the globe for catching such a clean move while we were away from our screens. Little Asian colleagues. But those who were shorting the market actually also got pretty lucky. By the way, just yesterday we discussed this in great detail with the guys in our exclusive private chat, and the price decline, which also started from the swing break zone, but on lower time frames, this is clearly visible on the minute charts. Notice that both of these buys were incredibly precise, occurring exactly at the breaks, and the sells from the break happened right at the very opening of the Asian session. Now, the Asians are starting to gradually move gold with some really significant trading volumes. Well, and what we get are the small breaks, which in this case yesterday, could have brought you 12,600 pips. As long as this long break holds, a new long trend could emerge for us. And all this could lead to a new third wave, that is A, B, C. That's roughly the scale we're talking about, so be careful with short positions on gold. It's possible that we're now forming the third upward wave in the EUR-USD pair. Yesterday, we also had a very interesting trading idea work out perfectly. The euro was pressing very aggressively on the 1.17733 level. And then today, there was a small, slight puncture of this significant technical support and resistance level, which we have been watching closely. This also came from a short squeeze, which I pointed out. We dropped from there yesterday, but the Asians also bought back strongly. And it looks like this is also the beginning of a new third wave, similar to the one we had 2 or 3 weeks ago. So there was a flat zone, the instrument was gradually rolling in, then there was a strong long impulse. Now there's a correction, and possibly we're at the beginning of a new third wave, a big one, just like with gold, due to the weakening of the US dollar. Right now, the instrument is at the 38th retracement Fibonacci level. And we could certainly see some upward growth, but the first resistance will be the initial short-term breakdown zone, which is located a bit higher, and you really need to be aware of that going forward. The pound-dollar pair has also experienced a very significant downward drop recently. Here, the long breakdown zone is situated a bit lower, and it hasn't quite been reached by the market yet, but maybe some other players will do it. If not, then it will simply move on and continue its movement without our participation. Here, it's the same story as with the euro. There was a large short correction, a breakout, and a pullback. It is quite possible that we are also standing at the very beginning of a large third wave. The Australian dollar has worked out the specific level I mentioned a few days earlier with absolute precision. A short breakdown, a level, a hit into it, a false breakout. And possibly it's the same story here as with the previous instrument, but in the long direction.
Looking for real trading advantages? InstaForex offers the lowest spreads and commissions. On major currency pairs, our conditions are better. Lower spreads and only $5 commission instead of $7. That's real savings for every trader. And now, let's get back to the market review.
Dollar Canadian. Dollar Canadian retraced 50% on the daily time frame from the last short wave. It didn't quite reach the short breakdown level. Of course, I'd like it to go a bit higher. If it does, we'll sell. If not, it'll fall without us, and it has a very, very long way to fall. All these lows, all of them will be broken. The only question is the entry price. The dollar-yen pair is slowly moving away from the short breakdown, which I marked in the incorrect color. I really hope that the wave of dollar weakening is just beginning here, and it is going to be huge, my friends, because we could drop all the way down here, since these are the lows, from around 2024 to 2025, and that would be spectacular. As for oil, today, once again, the Asians were feeding off the long breakdown. Yesterday, the Americans were testing the short instrument. It's stuck in a flat, waiting for the results of the negotiations. As for Iran, Bitcoin dropped quite a bit, but it didn't just fall anywhere. It landed in the long breakdown zone. Now the Asians are slowly buying it back, so don't buy at a price below $60,000. And it's quite possible that a long correction could happen here. Take a closer look at long positions right here. The Asians have already bought back very well. I hope this is the beginning of an upward movement. The spot is solid, and at the very least, it's a great zone for scalping and pip trading. It's especially great for longs right here.
I also want to remind you that every InstaForex client automatically receives loss insurance. For every $1 of compensation, only $4 of your friend's investments are required. Just submit a request, and your losses will be recovered. Let's continue with the review.
The American stock market has dropped quite a significant amount lately. Nasdaq has tested the long breakdown zone. By the way, the S&P 500 has too. It shot up as well. This is the second zone I mentioned in the master review. It's situated right here, and the third one is right over here. These zones are actually interesting to consider specifically for longs. The dollar-franc pair is on a downward trend, but it has a minor breakdown in the long-term structure. The final support level for buyers is right here. If this level doesn't hold, the movement will continue downward. For selling, the short positions are a bit higher at the short breakdown zone, right in this zone. So, if you want to sell this instrument, you need to do it at those prices, above the current ones, Canadian franc. From this instrument and further, we wait for the grid until the instrument updates the year's low. The grid of limit buys, step 500. Australian dollar. Canadian dollar has started to decline gradually. I remind you to take profit at the level of 0.93757 if you have built up a grid of limit sell orders.
With InstaForex, you can triple your profit. For every $4 of your friend's investments, you automatically get an extra $1 added to your profit, with no extra conditions.
New Zealand dollar. Swiss franc is still in a flat range. If the yearly low is broken, the grid of limit buys, step 500, comes into play. New Zealand dollar Swiss franc is still ranging, so we wait for the quotes to drop and do not touch it for now. Euro. Australian dollar started to correct after testing the long breakdown. If you have been accumulating longs, you will soon have profit at the level of 1.7373, 0.900 or 0.72390 euros. By the way, in New Zealand dollar, Canadian dollar, we are waiting for the upper boundary of the range to sell, so we are not touching it for now.
We also have a great offer. Fund your account and get a 30% tradable bonus. Trade with additional capital and expand your opportunities with InstaForex.
And silver dropped without testing the short breakdown. For now, it moved past the area I mentioned without us, and that's also a good setup for the growth of this instrument's quotes, because the targets were taken out below, and naturally it was done by the Asians. So, I believe that after capturing this area, the path has finally been cleared, at the very least, to the first short breakdown for this instrument. Friends, InstaForex offers a free consultation with a personal trading consultant. Follow the link in the video description, fill out the callback form, and gain access to exclusive offers and special trading conditions. BRT Plus for risk-free trading. That's all. Trade with InstaForex, subscribe to the channel, and stay tuned for new reviews.